What's up, everyone? I'm DJ Hamilton, and you're tuned into the DJ Sports Show, where we give you the latest, greatest, and most exciting sports stories in the world of sports. From interviews to having people's stories heard and told. This is the DJ Sports Show. Let's get it! Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, DJ Hamilton, DJ Sports Show. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button and share anybody you know who loves sports. And listen to audio platforms I'm on. Leave a 5-star rating and share anybody you know. I'm here with my main man from the Run Podcast who talks football and basketball. My guy who I met at NBJ last year in Chicago, the one and only Manny Wilson. How you doing, bro?
Man, what's good? What's going on with you, man? I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be here, man. Just always excited to come on here and talk about sports, man. I mean, we kick it, off camera and stuff. We still, keep up to date with everything. So I'm definitely excited to be here on the pod, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I know you know your football. I was like, man, I got to get my guy on. Got to have him on the show. I'm like, he's a football fanatic. I was like, got to get him on, bro. I was like, this is the second time I ever had you on the show because I remember my first time was last summer before the last football season. I had you on my radio show when I was on radio. But I was like, oh, let me get him on the podcast now, podcast only now because, radio station got sold a few months ago. So I was like, oh, we can still do content. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, Manny, let's get right into it, man. So we're going to talk the AFC on this episode, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do each division, AFC West, East, North, South. And then next week, we're going to do the NFC. So first, we're going to start with the AFC West, man. I mean, as we're less than a month away from the NFL season, I think we're less than 3 weeks now. Teams are in preseason, getting ready, gearing up. The first team I have is the Kansas City Chiefs, man. So I have last season, they were 15-2. They won the division. They lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl. That was a rough loss, to say the least. I mean, so the Chiefs are coming into this season. They have been dominating the AFC for over a half decade, and they've been dominating the AFC West pretty much. They're on course. If they win the AFC West again, I looked it up on Google yesterday, to win the AFC West for a decade straight. So they've been running roughshod in the AFC West, man. And ever since Patrick Mahomes became the starting quarterback, they have dominated the conference. They won 7 consecutive AFC championship games, 3 Super Bowls in that span. And they finished the previous season 15-2. And remember last year, a lot of people were questioning them, even though they were 15-2, because they didn't have an explosive offense. People were questioning, oh, this offense ain't that dynamic. How are they going to make it to the Super Bowl? How are they going to win? And even though their offense wasn't as explosive in the early Mahomes years, because they were 19th in yards per game last season, they had an ineffective ground game. Their running game was pretty much non-existent last year, 3.9 yards per rush, second to last in the league last year, according to TeamRankings.com. And they were 26th in rushing yards per game. But even though they weren't explosive offensively, they were an efficient offensive unit. And that's what kind of scared opponents, because you knew on that other side, Patrick Mahomes was going to find a way, and the Chiefs, because they're championship pedigree and they're battle tested. They were 47% on third down conversions last year. That was third in the league. And they had an incredible fourth down conversion, 66%, 6th in the league. When you have that type of efficiency on third and fourth down, you know you're going to win a lot of ball games, man.
Yeah, you ain't lying. The craziest part about this division here, it's why this division is so interesting. And we know like how much Pat Mahomes have dominated this division, but this is like a really defensive loaded division. So 3 of the 4 teams in this division were top 5 in points per game, in terms of allowing the points per game. So you got the Chargers, Broncos, and KC was top 3 in points allowed per game. So this is like a defensive division here. So it's like, obviously anything can happen in division play, but what it comes down to is the Chiefs have Pat Mahomes, and that offense somehow never stalls out. When you look at those other defensive solid teams like the Chargers and the Broncos, they just somehow don't get the offense to get rolling like the Chiefs are able to. But if they were, which is possible and it might happen, then maybe we do see a new division champ. Maybe we do see the Kansas City Chiefs fall down before winning 10 straight years in a row. So who knows when it comes to that part. But this is definitely a defensive loaded division here because all of these teams are top in the AFC besides one, which is the Raiders.
Exactly. And one thing I wanted to mention, like, I know they were efficient last year, and everything, but they did get exposed in that Super Bowl, man. I was like, man, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, bro. I was supposed to go to Atlantic City. It was the same matchup from 2023 when I went to A City, bro. The year before I met you with my boy Jason.
Oh my gosh.
We were supposed to go to Atlantic City for that, and man, I'm glad we didn't because that would have been a waste of the day off from work. We were so happy we didn't go. We were laughing at each other. We were texting each other like, bro, we're so happy we didn't waste money going to this Atlantic City, bro, for that game.
That was insane, man. I was excited for. I was hoping. I just wanted to see a good game. I mean, truth be told, I didn't really care for
who won.
Eagles winning. I didn't really.
I wanted to see a three-peat. I wanted to see history, bro.
Same. I was on that same side. Like, I would love to see Mahomes get a three-peat, but I get it if it doesn't happen. Like, it's whatever. I just want to see a good game, and I caught the complete opposite, man. Because the Eagles got the belt off, and
that was faking with the belt, like Jamaica.
That was good. You missed your curfew, and that was just crazy, man. Like,
bro, that was probably the worst Super Bowl whooping I've seen in my time watching the Super Bowl.
That was definitely the
bro. And what makes it more like perplexing
I've ever seen.
Was more perplexing is the Eagles defense didn't even blitz. Like, I was like, what?
Yeah.
When they said that, I was like, what?
4-man pass rush, just send it in there. You let your dogs eat and get to the quarterback, and that's what happened. That's what happened. Like,
I know we'll get to the Eagles and NFC, but because I know they lost a lot of defensive guys on that defense. But yeah, man, that defense last year was, man, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, man. I know that offensive line was kind of shaky for the Chiefs last year, but I'm gonna get to some of my stuff right now. But some of the things I have for the Chiefs, some of their key offseason additions and like subtractions. They did re-sign their offensive lineman Trey Smith to a 4-year, $94 million contract extension. He has shown improvement every single year. He was a key part of their 2 Super Bowl winning championships in 23 and 24. They also extended their All-Pro defensive end Chris Jones, and they retained the linebacker Nick Bolton, who were instrumental in the Chiefs Super Bowl run as one of the best defenses in football last season. However, I know one thing I feel like people are not talking about enough is a big loss at Joe Thuney, man. They traded him to the Chicago Bears.
Exactly what
He's
I was
arguably the best center in football, like, period.
Yep. That's exactly.
I think people are not talking about. I think that's going to be a big loss for them in that offensive line of protection, man. This guy was he was the long snapper for Patrick Mahomes, who was under center. I think that's going to really hurt them. And I know they drafted Josh Sims out of Ohio State, but how much are you going to really rely on a rookie when you're trying to? It's not like your team rebuilding, your team competing for championships, for Super Bowls. Like, I know he played at Ohio State where they play for big stakes too, but NFL is a whole different level. You know what I'm saying?
Completely new
and
ball.
To come in right away and have all that pressure on you. I want to see how he adjusts to that because it's really going to be up to the growth of him and Smith, and then Jalen Moore on how the offensive line produces. Because Thuney, man, that dude could take up 2 pass rushers at once. He was all pro first team. Like, this guy he was like the best in pass block win rate in the last few years.
Yeah, when you talk about like NFL experience and an experienced guy in NFL, Joe Thuney that's him. That's him. 2-time All-Pro. Won 4 Super Bowls. Like, this guy's got crazy experience, and it's going to be big shoes for the rookie to fill. But it's also one of them things where it takes time. Like, it might take a couple, 2 to 3 years for him to actually get comfortable and solidify his role as like the new center and stuff. So when I think about this loss, it's a huge, huge loss, but Chiefs done went down this road before. They done had multiple injuries, somehow still made it to the Super Bowl, somehow still won a Super Bowl. I mean, this team is clearly very, very resilient, and they always find a way to make things happen. I don't think we'll see like a dominant regular season from the Kansas City Chiefs. I could be wrong, but just based on personnel and the fact that everyone else in their division also got a little bit better, and everybody else in the AFC also got a little bit better. So I don't think they'll just go out whacking teams left and right. But definitely it's going to be a challenge for them. It's going to be a challenge. And then if you see them in the playoffs, it's still going to be very scary just because of who they have at quarterback.
Exactly. The one thing I also want to mention too is I expect their wide receiving core to be better this year. You have Rashee Rice. I know they moved the hearing back to September 30th. When I was doing the research, they moved it back. So he won't miss the first 4 games of the season anymore. And I know a lot of people on social media are like, oh, the Chiefs package once again.
Yeah, always get everything in their favor.
Yeah, I'm like, here we go. Football's coming back. We're gonna get that Chiefs hate again. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Rashee Rice, man, I'm telling you, last year when early in the season, I saw the growth. I was like, man, this guy is killing in his second year. I was like, because I watched him his rookie year, he was really good his rookie year. But then I was like, man, he's becoming like the go-to guy. Like before his injury, when unfortunately Mahomes kind of ran into him, unfortunately, he was leading the team in receptions, targets, and receiving yards until a season-ending injury with the torn ACL. He was on tear. I think he was on a tear to go. What's it called? He was on pace to go All Pro or something because he was killing it, bro.
He was nice. Like he was definitely a crucial piece of that offense and just the production that they could get. Obviously, a huge weapon for Pat Mahomes, and he was just another dude. Got speed. He get the ball in open space, and he's gonna cut it up big.
And speaking of speed, can't forget Xavier Worthy, man. I mean, this guy like a Cheetah Junior.
Yeah, he's
like a Cheetah Junior, man. Like
as a rookie, he was pretty big,
bro.
So I see him too. I definitely forgot about him for a little bit.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be. When you're a rookie, you're in any sport, professional sport, any sport, you're learning the ropes of the game, the ins and outs, the schemes. Now that he's coming in second year, he's gonna understand the offense better. He's gonna understand the schemes. I think he's gonna be a better route runner. I think he's probably been working on that this summer because he has the speed and all that. But if he can get more effective with his ins and outs of his routes, oh man, he could be that deep downfield threat that Mahomes needs, along with Rashee Rice. I think they're gonna be the top two targets for the Chiefs because Kelsey, he's older now. He's past his prime. I expect him to be more like the third option, the safe option when they just need like a quick first down on like a third and 10 or 12. But not like the go-to guy on the first and second down. You know what I'm saying?
Travis Kelce is definitely he's at this point with him being the age that he is in his NFL career, he's definitely about to just be the best way I can compare it is just the old dude giving buckets at the gym. Like he's getting bucket. He got a quiet 16 points. I don't know how, but like he getting easy layups, he getting easy putbacks. Like that's the best way I can kind of relate it with Travis Kelce. Is Travis Kelce just gonna be the one getting a quiet maybe 36 yards in receiving through the game, maybe one touchdown. He's just gonna be getting the quiet yards. Like, damn, we forgot about him. Like, because he ain't outrunning nobody, not at this age. Yeah, and man. I mean, obviously, he still got his hands and stuff, and him and Pat Mahomes have the connection, so that'll be helpful. But it's just gonna be just a little, in a way, for lack of a better word, the trash man pickup, like the cleanup, like, and I'm not saying he's trash at all, but just like the cleanup yards. That's what he's getting. That's gonna be his role, and obviously help the young guys.
He's the janitor. He's staying in after hours. Just in case he needs
He like, bet it's 3rd and 2. Bet I'm gonna run his little out route and just sit here and just wait for Pat, and then he just gonna manipulate the game a little bit. That because he is still smart, brings a lot of intelligence to the game while he's on the field. But it's just gonna be more so instead of the big plays that we see downfield. He might get a couple, of course, but ultimately it's just gonna be those cleanup yards that he grabbed.
Exactly. You got to preserve him for the postseason. Yeah, and one thing I wanted to say about Worthy, man, he was one of 2 Chiefs rookies other than Rashee Rice. I looked it up on StatHead to have 600 plus receiving yards and 6+ touchdowns in a season in Chiefs history. I was like, wow. And he was a big part of their reason they even got to the Super Bowl last year, even as just a rookie. He led all playoff receivers in receptions, yards, and touchdowns last season. I was like, man, as a rookie, that's really impressive. I'm like,
that is very impressive, actually. That's very impressive.
Yeah, and then I know they have the 11th toughest schedule because I was looking at the toughest schedules list on Football Operations, and 6 of the first 10 games are against legitimate Super Bowl contenders. You got the Eagles, Ravens, Lions, and Broncos at home with the Bills and Commanders on the road. 6 of your first 10 are against legitimate contenders. I'm like, whoo, let's get it started. We can start it hot early.
They schedule, man. They start off hot. They definitely start off hot, and I think you get the rematch of the Eagles, which is definitely going to be interesting. Then you play the Ravens, which I think they only see them once this year, but you see some good competition. And not to mention too, eventually you creep up on that division play, and you can never count that division play out.
Exactly. So my prediction for the record, I got them going 14-3, and of course making the playoffs, potentially making the AFC Championship game, but we'll see. I got them going 14-3. I put the record for each team on. Yeah.
Wow, 14.
I don't know. I don't want to put you on the spot. I don't know if you put records for teams, but I did 14-3.
I didn't give a record, but I can give one real quick. But 14-3.
They went 15-2 last year with a worse offensive line. No Rashee Rice for like all the season. You know what I'm saying?
They were supposed to lose like 5 of them games last year. It was, and I remember a lot of them.
Yeah,
it was
they should have lost.
Literally, like all
the field goal.
This was supposed to lose like 5 or 6.
Watching that game live, I said, "Oh no!" And I was like,
yes. It was a lot of them games, like the flags, and oh no, it wasn't out of bounds, or this was out of bounds. My Falcons lost to the Chiefs in that same way. They said, "No, it was no pass interference," and he caught it in like, "Nope, he was out of bounds." And we were like, "Oh, come on, man!" Ravens too was another one. I think they seen the Ravens,
and they was the first game of the year last year, the season opener.
Game of the year, and it was already starting, and then you. I don't think they get the Zebras definitely love the Chiefs, so I don't think they get that same type of love coming into this year, especially since it's a lot more competition. But looking at the schedule, it's only a couple games. They start off hot, but some of these games is just gonna be good competition. Like I see Eagles, Ravens, Lions, Commanders, Bills. Like these are games where I'm like, all right, yeah, you're gonna have to really thug it out. It's gonna be tough, but I guess I see the Chiefs going, man. I don't see the Zebras giving them that much love, and I don't see a lot of teams playing around with them. So, as a quick prediction right now, I would probably give them 11-6.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I would.
Oh, that's a.
Yeah, I just don't see them winning as much as they did last year in games that they shouldn't have won. Like, especially because. Man, yeah, I just, they do have talent. They did get some new people and stuff, but these guys got to get a feel for the offense and a real in-game experience. And ain't nothing like reps that happen in-game. You cannot somehow create that same type of situation from reps that are in the game. Like that's the only way you can replicate that is in-game reps. So
you do have a rookie offensive starting like lineman and trying to replace Tooney.
I mean, Eagles, that defensive line coming, man. That front seven, like they coming, man. Ravens, they gonna be there. Lions, they gonna be there. Commanders, I don't even want to talk about their defense. But
okay, maybe I'll change my record. I'm gonna change to 13-4. I think that'll be more reasonable.
13-4. Yeah, that's I can see that. See 13-4 at best.
Yeah, 13-4. I was shocked when they went 15-2 last year. I ain't gonna lie.
They were not supposed to be that good last year. They were not, like, and I don't think, and that's just it. All right, so I'll say this, and then we can go on
next team.
So last year with the Chiefs, the record shows 15-2. Like great season. It looks like, but they were not playing good football throughout the course of the entire NFL season. There was maybe like
why you can't just be a box score reader. You know what I'm saying? You got to see the full.
Literally, man. I can't emphasize that enough, because if a person does just look at the records, you're like, oh, Chiefs was, they were 15-2. They beat everybody. And it's like a lot of them games came down to the wire. A lot of them was controversial flag calls, and a lot of the calls relied on the referees, but they just were playing sloppy football. I mean, they were in shootouts with the Raiders. They were in duels with the Chicago Bears. Like they were just like they was
not good last year.
Man, literally everybody was getting the best of the Chiefs into the last 2 minutes of the game, where it just somehow favored them to win the game. So they weren't really playing good football all last year, despite having that 15-2 record. So when I see the teams that they're going to be lining up against this year, I think a lot of those teams can actually get the best of the Kansas City Chiefs, which is why I say they will have that 11-6 record, in my opinion.
I know we went long on the Chiefs because that's my team, man. I'm a Mahomes guy, so sorry y'all. We went on a little Chiefs view. That's my team. You know what I'm saying? I had to start off with them. You know what I'm saying? That's me and my older brother's team. We Mahomes guys, man. We Mahomes guys. We want to see him win, but I think I'll change mine to 13-4. I know I wrote in my article I did yesterday, the AFC West predictions I released on my website. I put 14-3, but in the podcast, I'm just changing my mind. I'm like, okay, he made me think about it. I'm like, all right, I think 13-4 is doable.
13-4 is still crazy to me, but I'll let that slide more. I'll let that slide over the first one. Slide a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so the next team we got in the AFC West is the Los Angeles Chargers I have here. 11-7 last season. 11-6 or whatever last season. They lost to Houston in the wild card. So some of the key notes I have for them. They have Khalil Mack coming back, their pass rusher, who's one of the best pass rushers in NFL history. He was contemplating retirement, but he's still coming back. I think he's still an impactful pass rusher for them on that defense. Linebacker Denzel Perryman, I know, has been in some trouble off the field, but he does provide leadership for them and experience up that middle. And one thing I know, they kind of, ever since Austin Eckler left, he's not there anymore. He was a great running back for them back in the day. One thing I think I really liked about them this offseason is signing Najee Harris from the Steelers, man. He's the only active running back I looked up with 4 consecutive seasons of 1,000+ rushing yards and at least 5 touchdowns. And this was a team that ranked 20th in rushing yards per game, and they were 27th in rushing yards per play. So adding a guy like Harris who could alleviate pressure off Justin Herbert to always have to make the pass and things of that nature, I think that's going to add another dimension to their offense. And I think Jim Harbaugh, I know, is their head coach. I think he's going to find actions to get Harris to be more effective. I know some key losses. To me, I know we can talk about the guys who left, but, man, to me, number one loss, you lost Rashawn Slater for the season, man. I was like, damn. I was like, torn patellar tendon out for the season. Yeah, that made me bearish on them after I heard that news. I was like, damn, their offensive line is going to take a hit. He was a Pro Bowl offensive lineman.
I had higher expectations for the Chargers until I seen that. Once I see that,
I saw that, my expectations went out the window. I was like, damn.
Yeah, because they did get they had more on the offensive end. They got a little bit of weapons, and they still need more weapons on the offensive end, I think, in order to be dangerous and to really get Justin Herbert to reach his full potential. I think they do need more offensive weapons. But, man, that's a big blow.
I was like, damn, that was like a stab through the heart right there. I'm like, damn. I was like, damn, out for the season, not even for a few weeks, the whole season. I was like, yeah, they might not even. I know we're going to get into the record and all that, but they might not even make the playoffs now if the offensive line's going to make a real hit. Especially when
it's going to be rough. It's going to be heavily reliant on the defense to really win some games, get these stops. And, I mean, hopefully they can still figure something out.
Exactly. Okay, so other key stuff I have is they released Joey Bosa. That clears some cap space for them. I know I looked it up. It cleared them $25 million in cap space. I know Bosa was a key guy who got sacks in 4 of his first 6 seasons there, 19 in his first 20 career games. But, he's dealing with a lot of injuries, becoming injury prone and stuff like that. So he wasn't as effective for them, wasn't as valuable. So he was kind of disposable for them. But last year, I know we're talking about weapons. I know we're talking about the wide receiver position. Ladd McConkey, man, this guy was tremendous as a rookie last year, bro.
Animal.
He was one of 7 players since the turn of the decade to have over 1,000 receiving yards and 5 or more touchdowns. He joined his 2024 class. And that 2024 class was special. Him, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors were the other 2 receivers to do that. And he joined the NFL star wideouts such as Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Puka Nacua as the other guys to do that in this decade. So we're talking about a guy who is a go-to number 1 receiver who could get you deep down yardage, midfield. You need a short little 5 yards. Like this guy is the dude. He could do it in all facets of the game. But I'm questioning, like, after him, who's your wide receiver? Because Mike Williams is retired now. And are you relying on a 5th-round draft pick and Keandre Lambert-Smith? I mean, I've been seeing the reports. He's been looking good in training camp, but, he's making tough catches and all that. But training camp and real season is different. So I want to see how that plays out. But that's kind of my question I have with them. Like, who's the number 2 receiver now that Mike Williams is retired?
That's where they need more help on just receiving options and stuff. Because I'm pretty sure they still got Quentin Johnson, but it's like, I mean, that's just the best way to explain it. It's not really anybody. Like, he's gonna really have to show himself and assert himself as a dominant number 2 option coming into this season, but there's just not many receiving options for Justin Herbert over there. So he's got to get some more options, man. And last year there was a lot of drop passes from people, Quentin Johnson being one of those guys. But there was just, that's just the area of improvement for them is what they need. So whether he steps up, whether somebody else on that roster decides to step up, and it's a whole new season. So maybe somebody from training camp that makes a team might step up. Who knows? But that receiving room definitely needs some help. And I don't think that offense really thrives until we see Justin Herbert with more weapons on the offensive end with throwing the ball at his receivers.
And the one thing I like to mention before we get into like my record prediction, and their prediction for the season. I would like to say, Justin Herbert, man, I know you have a great arm and all that, but you're a mobile quarterback. I want to see you get out the pocket more, man. Like, this is the new age NFL. Become more of a dynamic dual threat. You have the mobility. I've seen him run, bro. He has a fit body. Utilize that mobility. Whenever you don't see nothing in the open field, man, just go and get those quick 10 yards. Get that first down for your team, those extra set of downs. I see Mahomes ain't the most athletic guy, but he can still scramble. I see Joe Burrow do it sometimes. Lamar Jackson, I know he's the epitome. He's the 101. But I see CJ Stroud do it. I see Jalen Hurts do it. Like, do that for your team. Like, don't just sit there being stuck in the pocket. This ain't the 80s, 90s NFL anymore. You know what I'm saying? This is you got to get with the new school. And I want to see Jim Harbaugh get that out of him. Like, not be afraid to utilize, because it's not like he's not unathletic dude. He can run. I've seen him. Athletic. He's a mobile dude.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to to understanding the game and just like being like IQ of quarterbacks. Because like you just said, Pat Mahomes ain't the most athletic quarterback in the NFL, but he still can pick up 12 yards and sometimes even more than that. Like, he still pick up the first down, and that's really all you need to do as a quarterback if you getting out of the pocket is just go get the first down. That's it. We don't need you to have these big touchdown runs like we see from Lamar Jackson sometimes, but those are designed. Those are designed for him to fake the option and fake this and then go this way and cut it up for a touch. That's a design run. But like, if he's in a pocket trying to throw and nobody's open, like, just go get the first down. Just go get. That's all we need. Jalen Hurts do the same thing. Extremely athletic, obviously, but just go get the first down.
Exactly. Keep it simple, man. And that's why I love it, Mahomes. Like, he's a great situational reader, man. He just knows the situation, high leverage moments, and that's why they've won so much over the years. So my prediction for the Chargers, I got after that Slater news, I kind of changed it, man. I was like, damn. I got them going 10. I think they go 10-7. I think they're gonna miss the playoffs though.
10-7, missing the playoffs. Okay.
Yeah, the Slater news kind of ruined it a lot.
Yeah, I am mad at that. I'm kind of like in that same boat of like 9-8, 10-7.
Yeah, around there, like the mid. Like, we like mid. I don't think they're gonna be terrible, but I don't think they have enough weapons, and then now they have a depleted offensive line.
Yeah, and it'll be a playoff push, I think, toward the end of the season, maybe. But I mean, it also depends on how good some of these other teams on the schedule are. Like Dolphins, you never like outside of the division, you just never know with some of these teams. Like, they got big question marks on them. Like Dolphins, just regular season, they usually dogs, but you never really know with them. Always a question mark. Steelers, big question mark. You just don't know what you're going to really get on a weekly basis for the Steelers, especially when you get to mid-season, toward the end of the season. And I mean, just like outside of that, it's going to be games like that where you have to win in order to make the playoffs. You play the Titans, like, big question mark on if they'll be good. They got a solid defense, but it's just the offense is still not there. Maybe they'll be good, maybe they won't. Big question mark. So these type of games against teams that are still trying to establish themselves, if you can win those, then maybe they do get in the playoffs. But if not, you start dropping those games, and then you got to worry about playing the Eagles and the Chiefs again. And, then that's when it get a little tough of like, all right, I don't know how good this team going to be and if they get in the playoffs.
Exactly. So you got them going 9-8, missing playoffs?
9-8.
9-8. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good one. All right. So the next team I got is Las Vegas Raiders, man. 4-13. They missed the playoffs last year. So that seems like that's your team or something.
That ain't my team. That's my team. All right. Them Falcons. Them Falcons is my team. They in a whole other conference. But Raiders just make me laugh, man. And because they got potential. They really do have potential. And I like some of the personnel they have, and I'm so happy they finally got Geno Smith over there. But I think of like Brock Bowers, and then the other tight end, I think it's like Mayer or something like that. But they got a nice tight end duo over there, and they had the potential. But I just didn't understand what they had in mind last year with the whole Devontae Adams and then Gardner Minshew stepping up. It just didn't. It was just awkward. So maybe it'll be different this year, maybe not. But ultimately, I do think Raiders, they have a chance. And because they have a better quarterback at Geno Smith, and whenever you got, somewhat of a quarterback who can get the ball out and understands the game like Geno Smith, it does help your chances. So we'll see. But the defense is another conversation.
Yeah. I think Smith, like you mentioned, I think he's going to bring a whole new dynamic to their offense. When he was with the Seahawks and he was healthy, he was balling. Like, let's not forget, he's joining his former coach, Super Bowl winning coach Pete Carroll, man. After 14 years with the Seahawks, they hired him. They terminated Antonio Pierce's employment. They fired him and stuff like that. He
Yeah,
has a
that was
career winning
also
percentage
weird
of
to me
58.
too.
What do you say?
That was weird to me too that they fired Antonio Pierce, man. I know obviously they won 4 games last year, which is
exactly.
But in my head, bro, I'm thinking like Antonio Pierce was establishing a culture there. A lot of people didn't like it. It was uncomfortable. Obviously, after the whole Devontae Adams trade went down, he said some things just like saying the truth. Like, people don't want to be here, get them out of here. Like, whatever. And I agree with that. Like, I thought the way he established the tone was really good. He was definitely bringing a culture back to Raider Nation. And I thought that could have been helpful. So to me, for them not to even give him a chance at being a head coach, and also giving him some new personnel and stuff, it was kind of like setting him up for failure in a way. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is. We'll see where they go from here.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. And I know Brock Bowers, great tight end. They did enhance their offensive line a little bit. They acquired Alex Kaplan in free agency. They selected Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant, I saw from the NFL draft. They did kind of boost their safety in their secondary with Jalen Adams, who has experience in depth. And they signed wide receiver Philip Dorsett II. I'm interested to see. And shout out to, I know John Spytek is his first full season with the team this year, the new GM. And they hired assistant GM Brian Stark, who after his 13 seasons with the Denver Broncos. Shout out to them getting Ashton Janty in the draft. They were last in rushing yards per game. I saw it was 79.8 N per rush, while ranking 28th in rushing touchdowns. Janty, I'm interested to see, can his college productivity translate to NFL? Because, man, this guy was 27 yards short of matching Barry Sanders' 1988 Heisman winning season in college football, which is tremendous. This guy is a lower center of gravity running back. He's 5'8". I know he's short, but man, he's strong upper body, strong lower body, explosive power, and he knows how to really utilize it. And he embraces contact, and that's what he wants, especially in a running back. Yeah, and he had 1,970 yards after contact at Boise State last season, which not only set an NCAA single season record, but also would have made him the nation's leading rusher. So I want to see if he can help give them an established running game, even as a rookie, which I think he can. But I want to see all the other parts, how they all gel up together. But I think Pete Carroll can help put him in the best position to succeed. And I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but I think this could be a team that definitely makes some improvements this year.
Yeah, I can agree with most of that. I'm not really bought in on the Gentry hype. I know what he did last year. I don't want to take away anything from what he did last year. That was incredible. However, I'm also one to believe that there are different levels in college football.
Yep.
Play in a conference.
It's not really the elite competition. That's why I'm kind of. So I'm like, I think he'll help, but I'm like, I don't think they're going to win that many games.
Yeah,
they're still going to miss the playoffs. They're still going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I still think he's talented. Not saying he's not talented or anything, but I don't know if he comes in and gives us a Derrick Henry impact like he did when he was with Tennessee. But also, too, looking at the Raiders' schedule, bro, I don't think it's too many games where they'll win. It's also got to keep in mind that defense is not that good. And I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they haven't made that many improvements on their defense where it's like, okay, they'll really boost it up and it'll be completely different than last year. The only difference is they might be able to hang with teams scoring-wise now, and you might be able to outscore some teams. But defense, still very concerned about them. And you got some dogs coming up here on the schedule. So I'm definitely curious about what the Raiders defense can do. And I don't really have much faith in the defense. The offense will be all right, but they're not a playoff team in my opinion.
My prediction on my article, I had them going like 9-8, 8-9, missing the playoffs.
I would give them like a 7.
Yeah, they'll be around like the 7 to 9 win range, but they still missing the playoffs, dog.
I'll give them like 7, maybe 6 wins.
Yeah, they definitely not winning no double digit. That's for sure.
I would be shocked if that happened.
Anybody puts down, they gotta be a biased Raiders fan, like Gino, MJ.
Yeah, I would be absolutely shocked if I seen that.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah. So we both got the Raiders missing the playoffs. We got the last team in the AFC West. We got the Denver Broncos, man. This team I'm really bullish on. So last season, 10-7, lost to the Buffalo Bills in the wild card game. Their first postseason appearance last year in nearly a decade since they won the Super Bowl in 2015. Peyton Manning at quarterback. That's crazy when I saw that. I was like, damn, it's been that long since y'all made the playoffs. I was like, God. But hey, they might have found their quarterback of the future, man. Bo Nix. I know everybody's singing his praises. Everybody's hype. He's looking good. Everybody's like, man, this guy's gonna take a big jump in the second year. He said he's more comfortable in the offense now. You got a great coach and Sean Payton. Another year under him. Last year, Bo Nix had a successful rookie season that saw him become just the fourth rookie quarterback in NFL history, joining Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield, and Jaden Daniels to throw for 3,500 plus yards, 25 plus touchdowns, and a completion rating of 60 or better, and a passing touchdown percentage of 5 or more. So this guy was incredible last year for the Broncos. This is a team that has I was at Pro Football Focus. They rated them the top offensive line in the whole NFL. This is a team that has a tremendous offensive line, man. So he's really well protected, and they have most of those guys coming back. And they did add some weapons. They extended their wide receiver, Cortland Sutton, on a 4-year, $92 million deal. So they still have him coming back. But we can't just talk about the offense and offensive line. That defense is elite in Denver. You have arguably in the conversation for best cornerback in the league, Pat Surtain, the second. Man, he last year ranked first among NFL cornerbacks with at least 400 coverage snaps and yards allowed, target rate, and yards allowed per coverage snap. And you have defensive lineman Zach Allen, who are all pro selections, outside linebacker Nick Mondito. And you also had a right guard offensive lineman Quinn Miners and punt returner, who's also a wide receiver, Marvin Mims Jr., who's also a wide receiving threat for them. So you guys have a lot of all pros, man, like on both ends of the field. And their dominant defense was third in opponent points allowed, 19. Bro, they only allowed 19 points per game. Not even in an offense. That is crazy, bro. When I saw it, my jaw dropped when I saw it. I was like, man, not even 20 points teams were scoring on them average? That's crazy, bro. And second in touchdowns allowed. And they had the best pass rush in the league last season. And they had, and then in QB sack percentage, they had the best offensive line because they were number 1 in QB sack percentage. So, I mean, in rushing the quarterback. So defensively, they were tremendous in rushing the quarterback. And they had a single season team record in sacks, 63, led by Benito, Jonathan Cooper, Zach Allen, combined for 32.5 of the 63 sacks. Incredible defense, bro. I mean, this team with Bo Nix, I think he's gonna take a jump. You have a great head coach in Sean Payton. You have weapons in Marvin Mims, Cortland Sutton. So you have at least 2 reliable receivers, and then you have a tremendous defense and offensive line. I mean, this is the team I see that could, usurp the Chiefs in the AFC West. This is the team I think that could usurp the Chiefs. And if the Chiefs don't win the AFC West, this is the team I see, knocking them off that pedestal. Yeah,
definitely. I can definitely agree with that part on the Broncos being the team to end up dethroning the Kansas City Chiefs. A big reason is everything you were just saying, really, bro. This is a very, very well-rounded team here, and they're stacked all around the board. And I think when push comes to shove, they'll continue to establish themselves more and more throughout the season of being that dominant team and that team that nobody can play around with, because they already finished last year on an incline, really. So coming back this season, teams definitely know that you got to take them serious. And I think Bo Nix played pretty solid last year as a rookie. And he don't really need to do too much. They kind of have him in a good system where he just can use his strengths and play to his strengths. And ultimately, that's going to help the offense look good. So, Broncos definitely, they're a team to worry about for sure. And it comes down to really a 2-team race in this division. If it's not the Chiefs, then it's going to be the Broncos.
Exactly. Nah, I feel you, man. Broncos country is about to stand up this year.
Yeah, they're going to be turned up this year watching this team because, man, they looked pretty good last year finishing the season, and I'm sure they're probably going to look really good this year.
Yeah, I didn't even mention they led the league in sacks, interceptions, and fumble recoveries last year. Like, this team did it all. Like, stopping the run game, the pass, like, everything, bro. Like this, and they got a great head coach at the helm. Like,
I'm curious.
And a solid quarterback.
Now I'm curious of what you have their record as.
Oh, I got them 12-5, making the playoffs.
12-5. Okay, yeah, that's
good.
That's kind of where I was thinking too. Just
too crazy, like 13-4 or 12 or 14-3. But I'm like, I think they'll be better than 11-6. Like, this team has a well-rounded team. I think Nick, as he doesn't have a sophomore slump, I expect them to win at least 12 games.
Yeah, I think minimum we see 11-6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I could see a 12-5 for sure.
Yeah.
And honestly, if the Chiefs do somehow end up being much like, it's talented, or I ain't gonna say it's talented, but if they end up winning as many games as they did last year, I can see it coming down to the wire for the division of the Chiefs and Broncos.
Exactly. So I know before we close out the AFC West and go to the AFC East, who's your division winner for the AFC West?
Kansas City Chiefs, without a doubt. Without a doubt. They've won 9 straight years, 9 straight years. The last 10, I'm Chiefs to win. I don't care how the Broncos look. The Broncos are gonna have to get it done for me to believe that they can actually beat the Chiefs. I need pretty much a season sweep for me to be like, oh, bet they got it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. I got looks like when I did my article yesterday, I put a conclusion on my winner. I got the Chiefs, man. I think Mahomes is going to be extra motivated. I know he's heard all the talk, people talking like, man, y'all got rough shot in the Super Bowl. They're talking, bro, some people I've been seeing talking heads, they're not even ranking him the best quarterback or even top 3. Some people had him at number 4. I'm like, the disrespect is crazy, bro.
That's just nonsense.
Number 4.
That's nonsense.
I'm like, do y'all not know he owns Allen and Lamar Jackson in the postseason? Come on, man.
Literally.
Stop beating him.
Nobody.
That's
the reason. That's the big reason why a lot of guys ain't won Super Bowls yet. I mean, all these talented teams we done seen come through the AFC, and none of them,
only last 6-7 years, man.
Josh Allen, every year, them Bills is or we gonna beat the Chiefs. We beat them in the regular season. We beat them get to the playoffs.
In the postseason against him.
Oh, right, yeah, get in the postseason, then can't win and say they're like the same with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is my favorite quarterback. I think Lamar Jackson is actually the best quarterback in the NFL, but that's another discussion. But even then, he can't beat Pat Mahomes come postseason because that Ravens team that he done had was supposed to win a Super Bowl by now. But it's Pat Mahomes, man. He just him and the Chiefs, him and Andy Reid find a way to get it done. Only person who beat him, Joe Burrow.
I know we'll get into that in the AFC North, but ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think. Which team you think is going to take the AFC West in the comments below. And make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And we're going to get into AFC East next in the next episode. So I'm your host, DJ Hamilton, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.